If you're wondering if right now is a good time to sell your property in Greenwood, Indiana or not, then stick around because in today's video, we're going to be talking about 3 things that you should be taking into consideration when you're going to make the decision to get your house on the market or not. Hey guys, Aaron Lucas with Trendify Realty, and in today's video, we're going to cover 3 things that you need to take into consideration whenever you're thinking about getting your house on the market. So before we even get into those 3 things, it's important to understand that real estate runs in cycles. And there's 3 of them, so make sure to watch all the way through the end so you can take all 3 cycles into consideration when determining whether you are going to put your property on the market or not. So the first cycle that we have is probably the one that you're most familiar with and that you see year in and year out. And that's going to be a seasonal cycle. So if this is the only cycle that you're taking into consideration, the best time is typically going to be between early March to early July, that early spring to early summertime, when there's going to be the most amount of people looking for a home. The second cycle that we want to take into consideration is going to be supply and demand. And we typically have 4 phases as we go through this supply and demand cycle. The first is going to be expansion, and this typically happens from builders building more homes, we're needing more inventory on the market, and we're asking, okay, well, why do we need more homes? And the answer is really pretty simple. People have babies, they grow up, they live in the area, people move into the area, into Greenwood from other areas for work or whatever else it might be. Could be family, could be friends, to be close to their loved ones. But as more people come into the market, there needs to be more inventory to satisfy those people looking for homes. The second part of our supply and demand cycle is going to be oversupply. Now that we've expanded and we've built homes for all of the population that's growing as we need more inventory in the market, what happens is, let's say that we needed 30,000 homes and then builders built 50, 60, 70,000 homes. Well, now we have too much supply and the demand's not there. Since there's not enough buyers to purchase that inventory, it's going to lead us into our next step of the supply and demand cycle, which is recession. And a recession, or rather a correction, leads us into the 4th step or 4th part of our supply and demand cycle, and that's going to be recovery. Then once the market recovers and we don't have enough homes, the population continues to increase, it cycles right back around, and recovery is going to lead us right back into expansion, where we need more inventory as the population continues to increase. We know that this is a major factor or cycle in the overall housing market and is likely going to majorly influence whether it's the right time or the wrong time for you to get your house on the market in Greenwood, Indiana. And we know that the supply and demand is a major cycle that's going to affect whether you get your house on the market in Greenwood, Indiana or not. But there is still one more cycle that can supersede even the supply and demand levels. And our third and final cycle is macroeconomics. What's going on with the economy as a whole? Although real estate in Greenwood, Indiana is usually pretty safe from market volatility, high interest rates can deter buyers from being able to have the purchasing power that they need to purchase the homes that they're wanting. And the opposite can be true as well. If those interest rates get super low, like we saw in 2020, 2021, then what happens is buyers have a lot more purchasing power, a lot more buyers want to enter the market, and then what ends up happening is, going back to our supply and demand cycle, that supply level goes down because the demand is so high, and then we're in a heavy seller's market where things go for over list price, multiple offers, low days on market, and houses sell quickly, but it's difficult to purchase a home. So what does all of this mean? It means that we need to take all 3 cycles into consideration, looking at what time of year is it? Are there going to be a lot of buyers that are going to be looking for property? What's the supply and demand levels currently look like? And what's the overall picture of our economy? And sometimes you can't make your decision based solely on those cycles because of life situations. You may need to move closer to family or friends, you may get a job transfer, or there may be other unforeseen circumstances that you weren't aware of that you're going to need to sell your property in Greenwood, Indiana right now. If you find yourself in this situation and need to get your property in Greenwood, Indiana on the market right now, or just want to talk about, is it the right time for you to get your property on the market? All of my contact information is down below in the description. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all of my most recent videos regarding the real estate market.